what is local? Where does your produce come from? I'm sure some of you are thinking a farm, possibly out in California, maybe Florida, someplace warm, little to no concrete. But guess what? You're right. Kind of. This is a shipping container. It may not look like much to you, but I spend about 15 to 20 hours inside one every single week at work. The shipping containers carry items that we need in our everyday lives, like furniture, machine parts, even produce. Here are some of the routes that these shipping containers take. They travel across the world, sometimes thousands of miles. Now here's the process how these items are transported. They're first loaded into containers, delivered to the port, where they eventually are put on a barge and make it all the way across the ocean to their final port. The containers are then unloaded, left in port until they're put on tractors and trailers, until they make it to their distribution centers, and then the items end up at your and my door. But let's switch topics to something more near and dear to my heart. Food. Something that we all share, something that most of us enjoy. If you're like me, maybe even look forward to it. We've gotten rid of the traditional methods of farming. We rarely think about the country of origin where the food comes from, or even the farmer that probably did that hard work to get the food on our plate. That's the last thing on your mind when you're sinking your teeth into that juicy cheeseburger. That's starting to change. We've seen an increase in our population over the past half century, and there's no signs of it slowing down. So the question is, what are we going to do with our ever-growing population, and how are we going to feed them? We've turned to more bigger farms. Think Chiquita in Central America and Driscoll out in California. The family farms just weren't creating enough produce for us. To make matters worse, we have an ever-increasing population, and people are moving into more downtown areas. Think big cities, Boston, Chicago, even New York City. Hey, Detroit, revitalization. We're seeing tons of people move downtown. The issue being, there's little to no space to grow in those areas. To make matters worse, you see buy local signs popping up everywhere. It's been all the craze lately. Everyone wants a fresh, sustainable, and locally grown product. So the question is, how do we produce something in those large cities with little to no space to grow? It's easy. We'll just grow it. So let's think about what it takes to grow, let's say, a head of lettuce. Pretty simple things. You need sunlight, nutrients, water, and carbon dioxide. Luckily, Michigan has one of the best growing regions in the country. We probably know this because of the tomatoes, potatoes, lettuce, zucchini that we grow throughout the summer. But because I'm speaking to a group of mostly Michiganders, I'm sure you're all aware of the one issue that we have. It's our grueling winters. The 5 months out of the year that we're unable to grow. Well, let's think about how far we've come. Before, it was unimaginable to have fresh produce 365 days out of the year. People had to pickle goods or store goods to make it through the winter. With our increases in transportation technology, we're able to have fresh produce 365 days out of the year. So where do I come in? My family's business, LaGrasso Produce, was founded in 1914 by my great-grandfather. He started by selling bananas and apples to Henry Ford's employees on a pushcart. We've been around for 102 years, and through that we've seen the ups and downs and the ins and outs of produce. We've seen where people are getting their fruits and vegetables from and how they're getting them. We now have a fleet of over 50 trucks that deliver from Sault Ste. Marie to Sandusky, Ohio, from Port Huron to Grand Rapids and everywhere in between. We deliver products that are distributed across the country and sometimes even across borders. We recognize this increased demand for local, sustainable, and fresh produce, and so we decided to take a chance as a company. We did so by turning to a company called Fright Farms. Here's our Fright Farm. It's much like the container I showed you in the beginning of the presentation. They take these used shipping containers that have been retired and they repurpose them. They make them into lettuce-making machines, or as Fright Farms likes to call them, leafy green machines. In our leafy green machine, we have towers of lettuce, vertical grow towers like you see here. I can fit about 12 heads of lettuce in each tower, and there's over 200 towers in our farm. One farm can produce about an acre's worth of growth in a season. I'll let you do the math, but that's a lot of lettuce. The farm uses high-efficiency LED lights to the tune of red and blue, the two optimal ends of the color spectrum, to provide the most amount of growth. It also has a closed-loop hydroponic system, which is basically a fancy way for saying we feed the plants with creating little to no waste. It has an aeration airflow system that's monitored by controls and inputs and outputs. That keeps the farm at the optimal humidity and optimal temperature. Pretty cool, right? We think so too. The best part is Fright Farm made me work smarter, not harder. Everything can be controlled from my app on my phone. With the push of a button anywhere in the world, I can turn the temperature up or down, turn the water on and off, and control the humidity. But the best part is, it sends me a push notification, so I know whenever my brother Tom has touched anything in the farm. So what do I do in the farm for 15 to 20 hours a week? It's easy. I'm farming. Think about what a farmer would do. I seed the plant, I check up on it, ensure that there's enough nutrients for them to grow, and then eventually I harvest. I harvest each head of lettuce by hand, cleaning them, prepping them for shipment. When they're boxed up, they're put on our trucks, and they go all throughout Michigan. Let me say, I graduated from college in 2015 from a small school out in Boston called Babson. I studied entrepreneurship there and family business. When our farm arrived in September 2015, I had never grown a thing in my life. I can now say I've grown lettuce for most of Michigan. So we created this brand behind our product. We named it LaGrasso. It's a mix of our last name, LaGrasso, which in Italian means ironically the fat, and Lattuga, which in Italian means lettuce. LaGrasso. Here's a picture of our blend and what I like to call the wall of lettuce. You can see our blend has a mix of dark and red, dark and light green, and dark and light red. It's very visually pleasing, very tasty. We also created a new product line for the new local push. We call it MI365. We partnered with local growers in the area to be able to provide a sustainable and local product 365 days out of the year to our customer base. So now we're going to kind of talk through what local is, and we're going to see if you guys can come up with a definition for yourself. So all these circles that I'm about to show you are centered right here where we are in the PAC. So is a 50-mile radius from here local to you? With that, we get Ann Arbor, Flint, and Detroit. Let's take a step back. What about a 100-mile radius? With 100 miles, we're touching a little bit of Bay City, down to Toledo, and all the way out to Jackson. So is 100 miles local? Let's take a bigger jump. How about 250 miles? Now we're touching Milwaukee, Chicago. We go all the way out even to Buffalo, Mackinac City, down to Cincinnati. So it's 250 miles local. Well, technically, there's no true definition for what local is. But Congress back in 2008 said if something is purchased or consumed within 400 miles, then it's considered local. So what's next? I guess to me, local doesn't need to be in my backyard. I think I'm fine with a 50-mile radius. But I'm going to let you decide what you think local should be. But any way you put it, I think that people are going to want local to mean closer than ever. I don't think someone's going to suffice with saying a product grown 5 hours away in an entirely different state is local to them. But think about it. In Detroit, we're in a peculiar situation where if you break it down by miles, a product that's grown in Canada may actually end up being more local than a product that's grown in the U.S. There's been talks of farmers having farms like ours in the back of their restaurants. So how that would work is the customer would go and order a salad. The chef would go in the back, harvest only what he needed for that salad, creating little to no waste. Creating an ultra-fresh product also that is not hours or days old, but is seconds old. But think about it, that farm's in the back of the restaurant. That's local. So before globalization, we only had local. Now we have a surplus of shipping containers that are retired, and we're bringing them back home and growing lettuce in them. In a strange way, we're kind of going back to our old roots. You can think about what I just talked about. It pertains to more than just produce. I just happen to know a little bit about the industry. So go out there, buy local, whatever that may mean to you. Thank you.